You're listening to University Radio York. It's now time for a sports president interview.
I'm Beth Hardisty. I'm joined by Ashraf Ahmed. Thank you very much. You're running for the position of sport president at York. A lot of your manifesto is focused on the hot button issue of funding, and a particularly bold promise in your manifesto is discounted gym memberships beyond the already existing student membership. How is this viable with college memberships for sport only costing £18, which is therefore less than any meaningful discount for a gym?
First of all, hello. So basically what I'm trying to promise and what my plan would be was to work with the university gyms and to speak to them, because obviously here at York we've seen the gym open and other gyms are obviously available, and they offer for students they offer quite easy access in terms of quite cheap prices, and I know the facilities that they offer are not as good and up to standard as the ones we have at the university. But I said, and my plans are to work with the university to look at the offers that we give to students. So essentially look at the facilities that they have offers to, and when, let's say I buy a £20 black membership for university sports, or even an £18 college sport membership, what I would do is that then entitles them to buy a membership which is a student membership that allows them to use the regular gym stuff that is also accessible at the gym. And let's say at Sports Village you have access to a sauna and a pool, maybe not access to that because not everyone will be using that, and that also offers less, or makes it a lot cheaper to access the gym, and also offering specific ones in terms of specific times, maybe from like 9 to 3, or like times which aren't really popular. And I think when I say that, obviously that may look like, oh, then a lot of people start going gym. Then I also try to increase the times that the gym's open.
Right. Can I just clarify though? You are explicitly in your manifesto saying that there's going to be a discount to the gym membership if you buy a college sport membership.
Yes.
Can you clarify just quickly, if you buy an £18 college sport membership under your plan, how are you getting money off your gym membership? Yes or no?
So it will be.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I plan to do. That's what I plan to do.
How are you going to incentivise a non-uni, because obviously York Sport is a community programme.
Yes.
What is the benefit of them? Because they're not getting that £18, because that £18 is so vital to funding college sport. Why is it in their interest, if these students have stuff like the gym, which is cheaper, that if they want to not spend as much money, they can already go into town?
Because I think for a lot of students it's quite easy to stay, and I think for me personally it's quite easy to stay on campus already to use the gym.
Yeah.
So when you're using the gym, and to incentivise it in terms of why York Sport, or what they get is, when the person buys a sports membership, it entitles them to get a different package. The package is therefore cheaper than the one that we offer currently.
You already get a discount if you are a student. What is going to be the benefit for them to go further beyond that discount they're already giving us if it's not going to be any money for them? If you're getting £18 for one student, and that £18 has to go towards college sport, because obviously college sport, you've spoken a lot about the funding lacking there.
Yeah.
Where is that funding coming for that discount? Because there doesn't seem to be any actual benefit for York Sport.
Well, I think if you look into funding the options, there are definitely multiple different options. And obviously me not being in the role right now, I can't express how I would do that. But there are definitely multiple.
But do you think from their perspective there's actually any benefit?
I do believe so.
Okay.
I think if we're able to increase the amount of people we attract, just surely, like in terms of the sheer volume of people that come in terms of revenue, we try to get as much revenue as possible for York Sport.
Yeah, of course. York Sport is separate though in terms of the gym.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So what I mean is by the gym is what you do is you offer a lower price, and then more people will hopefully come.
Yeah.
And that way
will they do that if you're only getting an £18 difference?
I have not specified how much the discount would be.
No,
obviously I'd work with them to make it financially viable for one, York Sport, and also two, for the student.
If your college membership is only £18, if you wanted to give them more of a discount and give them some financial incentive, you would have to raise your college sport membership prices. And again, you've spoken a lot about funding being an issue.
As head of sport for Constantine, we were never told how much we were allowed to charge. We were told we have to charge £18.
So would you say that you should raise the prices?
I personally wanted to have it at £20 because it's only a £2 increase.
Okay.
But we can also work with students. I think one big problem we have is not working with students as much and as explicitly telling them that we're working with students to better the opportunities they have.
I mean, finance is a huge barrier to entry into sport. So do you think that a voter who sat there looking at your plan, where you're saying, okay, we're going to raise the baseline college membership, which of course you have to pay if you want to participate, to get this additional package that you might not yourself actually want to pay? Do you think they'll agree with that?
No, if you look at the amount, I would look to raise it by.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some other college sport heads of sport last year were looking to charge between £21 and £25, and they clearly had a reason to do so. If people are willing to pay that, then it's all right. I think in terms of...
But the minority may feel excluded by a price raise.
I think at that point you have to speak to them. I think it's all about getting student voices heard. I know for a fact we ran a project where we looked to change college or clarify college sport rules, and I don't think enough students had their voices heard there. But I think that's a separate issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to move on to that issue.
More.
You mention a lot about this favouritism and bias. This is something that is underlying, and I think I can guess from some of the sentiments in your manifesto. But can you clarify what you're alluding to?
So when I was in college sport meetings, there were a certain member of the team who would come in and would speak about how well some people have been selling and some haven't. If you look at some of the teams that have entered the league, specifically football, in the college football league, the last two teams have entered were James. This year, James Sevens have entered, and we weren't told if they were allowed to enter, or we weren't being told that they were entering. No one had the ability to put a name into the hat to say we want to enter a new team. Again, I think also in terms of speaking to other members in sports, there is some sort of bias, and it's not favoritism in the sense of I like them. It's in the sense of we believe they deserve more, but they haven't been. We don't know why they deserve more. It's a lot of the times we see.
Do you think it comes from funding?
Yeah, a lot of it comes to funding. Having spoken to some people in sport, some sports get more funding, some sports don't. I was speaking to a current college sport head, and they spoke to me about how certain teams were getting more funding and more favoritism by their college head.
Yeah.
And I think, look, it's not just the people at USU and York Sport, but I think it's also students alike. I think we need to stop this favoritism and this issue where some teams, because they have friends on the team or people they know on the team, they get a step up, they get the ability to be ahead.
Yeah, and then to kind of move on, because we've not got much left of the interview, you've spoken a lot about these new teams coming from the new colleges, and that you've promised an audit that will allow an effortless transition.
Yes.
Due to these limited facilities, will this mean cutting teams from existing college leagues? Of course, you're in a football club, Constantine, where you've got a 4s team.
Yes.
You've spoken about a 7s team.
Yeah.
Are you getting cut to 3?
So I know this for a fact, having played sports, and I play a lot of college sports. A lot of players play for a lot of similar teams, and I understand why they do that, but it's unfair on players, one, who don't have the ability to play, but because they're in a college with no team, or they just don't get chosen. There are many players who do this, and in terms of the audit, we've tried it this year. It failed because I don't think it was run properly. If I were to do it, I'd run an audit where some teams may be cut, not because I think they deserve to be cut, because there are not enough players to fill the squads.
Okay. So would you be cutting teams as 4s?
There will be teams that will be cut because there are players that are overlapping between the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, or in the 5s, the 6s and the 7s.
Okay.
And that's not just football, even some other sports.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And obviously you've got some big promises, and I'm sure you'll have a time to speak about this at debate night on Saturday. Thank you very much for joining us, Ashraf. And we are off to a new interview, I believe, in not too long.
Thank you, Beth.